Hello, and welcome to Church at Home with Rachael for Wednesday, the 14th of December. My name is Rachael Parker. My pronouns are she and her, and I am the Anglican priest or the rector for the collaborating parishes of Dayspring Ministry, which includes St. Mary's Edgerton, St. Thomas in Wainwright, and St. Saviour's in Vermilion. We are in the Diocese of Edmonton, the Anglican Church of Canada, in the beautiful province of Alberta. Now, before I begin, I'm going to warn you about today's topic. And I'm also going to warn you that this is the sixth attempt I've made at recording this video because my laptop keeps turning itself off and I have yet to figure out how to edit videos together. So I always have to start all over again. But that's the first warning. So if I'm a bit grumpy, that's why. The second warning is if you are a big fan of Christmas and you've had every Christmas you've ever had has been absolutely perfect, then you probably don't want to watch this video. Tune in tomorrow. But for those of you for whom Christmas hasn't always been perfect, I'm going to tell you, I will talk about Christmas in a wonderful way closer to Christmas. And around about the 21st of December, I will do a video about Blue Christmas, or When Christmas Hurts, for people who have lost family members or lost a job or things like that, when Christmas is a sad time. But today I just want to talk about a truth, a reality that many of us face, whether we want to acknowledge it or not, that sometimes Christmas sucks. I'm not talking about the theological stuff and why we have Christmas in the first place. I'm just talking about the run up to, the day of, and the aftermath of Christmas. Now, I love Christmas. I really do. But I am a realist, and I recognize that even though I love Christmas, there are times when Christmas is incredibly difficult. It's like, except for Easter, the busiest time of year for me. And so here we are on the 14th of December, and I still haven't written my personal Christmas cards. They will get out. I keep reminding everybody that Christmas actually runs from December 25th to January 6th. So if you get your card from me during that period of time, it's still technically on time. It just wasn't early. But I don't have time. This year I have 3 different churches that I have to prepare Christmas Eve services for, and then a Christmas Day service in Vermilion. And I love it, and I'm glad to do it, but it takes a lot of time. There's a lot of effort, a lot of sermons to write, things like that. That stuff's all good. That's not the part that makes Christmas suck. The parts that make Christmas suck are those things that just don't go the way we seem to think they should. Like all those Christmas Hallmark movies. Those ladies out there who like to watch those. I binge watch them because I know they're unrealistic. And now that I'm married and have been so for 17 years, I know that there is not a relationship. There is no way I would ever have a relationship like those ones. And to be quite frank, I wouldn't want them. That would be so boring. Rob's good. I love him just the way he is. And our relationship with his ups and downs couldn't ask for a better one. Now, there's still this pressure that every present needs to be wrapped exactly so. And as I mentioned earlier on a video a couple weeks ago, when I wrap presents, I'm a hot mess. I'm like, use 1,000 miles of tape for one gift. So right there, under my tree, never looks the way it should look. Cooking, food, all those Christmas food that we all love to eat, Christmas cake, Christmas cookies, Christmas pudding, stuffing, potatoes, all those starches. I'm type 2 diabetic. So it comes down to a choice of don't eat the things you really like and stay healthy, or eat the things you really like and be sick for a while. And unfortunately, I tend to do that. And I don't remember until after the fact, like on Boxing Day, I say to myself, you know what? Next year, slow it down. Just take small doses, small little bits, make your choices wisely. And then come around the next year, it's like, you know what? Screw this. I'm eating like this is Christmas. I'm having good stuff. The good news is this year, we don't have any Christmas baking. There's none coming from London from my mom. And we don't do any Christmas baking. We're too busy. So there's less of that. But the fact is, we get this idea that Christmas has to be a certain specific way. And regardless of relationships, regardless of that, that Uncle Bartholomew who falls asleep in his potatoes every Christmas, or that nasty little cousin who runs around pulling everybody's hair, putting tacks on chairs. That stuff happens. But sometimes sometimes Christmas just doesn't work out the way we want it to, or it leaves us feeling flat, or we've been working our butts off the whole time. We have this idea that Christmas needs to be a special way, and if it doesn't, then we have failed, or Christmas has failed us, or family has failed us. And we need to let go of that. And we need to let go of the idea that Christmas has to be this perfect time. If Christmas sucks for you, okay. That's okay. It's not okay that it sucks, but it's okay that's how you're feeling. Honor that and recognize it. Look around you and say, okay, what would make it suck less? I know that before I met Rob, my Christmases were tough because I was single and I lived not very far away from my family, but I was the one that did the traveling. I would go back and see them. So I knew that there really weren't going to be gatherings around my Christmas tree to open presents. There never was. My gifts to others would go to them, and any gifts they had for me would be under those trees. And I got that. But that sense of those things that I wanted to do as traditions in my own family, that doesn't happen. When I got married, my husband's ex-wife had custody of the kids, and she had the kids every year until Boxing Day. And so our Christmas was in the week after Christmas because we couldn't get the kids and take them wherever we were going to have our Christmas until Boxing Day and after all the services and all of those things that we had to do. So Christmas has never been sort of this ideal thing for me and for Rob. But the fact is that we have always had to figure out how to make it the best it could possibly be. And as I said, I'll talk about joyous Christmas and things like that closer to Christmas. But I think it's really important that we acknowledge those places in our lives where Christmas falls flat. Maybe if we can acknowledge that, then we won't fall as hard come the 25th of December. I think it's really important that we acknowledge reality. We have to live in reality. We can try to live in a fantasy land, but truth will come knocking. But being able to say to ourselves, what can I really and honestly expect this year of Christmas? Do I expect it to be all be perfect? If I do, it's not going to be great, is it? Because it's no matter how awesome we do or other people are, there will be something that doesn't happen right. If we recognize that there are tough parts to Christmas, and I know for a lot of people the last couple of years with COVID and people losing jobs and financial constraints and things like that, it's been difficult. Acknowledge that. Take some time to say, you know what, the season's hard, or the gatherings are hard. If you're an introvert, you might find that Christmas gatherings are like death. Like, you want to be happy and you all gather, and at the same time, you can just feel your energy draining out of you. And then you add turkey and the tryptophan in turkey, and guess what? You want to just fall asleep curled up in a corner somewhere. If we could get past this myth that Christmas is some kind of special, magical moment in our lives and acknowledge it as a time when we can slow down, take stock of what we need, and recognize that maybe this is a time to gather with family, or maybe it's a time to just lock the door, close the windows, close the curtains, and just have a quiet time by yourself, if you can. This is a great time, this season is a great time to allow yourself to tell yourself the truth, to be aware that if Christmas is a really sucky time for you, that's okay. Don't beat yourself up. No one has the right to expect something of you that's not real. You're the one who has to deal with you. So when you look in the mirror, if you don't see a happy, just jolly old Saint Nick kind of person staring back at you, but you see more of the Grinch, own it. Be okay with that. Like I said, there's opportunities to celebrate, and we'll talk about those later. But as we're heading into the time of Christmas parties and the hectic mall shopping and things like that in the next, 10 days, give yourself permission, if you need to say, I think Christmas sucks. And then do what you got to do. But at least be honest with yourself for a minute. And I'll come back in a week or so and talk about when Christmas hurts. And then for Christmas, I'll do when Christmas is awesome. Have a great day. God bless you. Be honest with yourself today. And I'll see you again tomorrow for Church at Home with Rachel.